So hello students, I guess you are fit and fine at your pace. So let's start today's class. Okay students? So students, I have something for you students. So what you have to do students, you have to identify the name of that object. Okay? So what is that in front of your screen? Yes? Do you see a cake, right? So we have a cake in front of you, right students? So the candles are blowing, right? And it's a white cake. So let me draw something for you. So you can see the candles are burning, right? And the beautiful cake is in front of you. So how many of you students are ready to cut this cake? Yes? You are ready to cut this cake? Okay students, let's cut this cake. Okay? Yes. So always all students are very agree to cut the cake, right? Liking to cut and very happy to see the cake, right? So students, why I'm showing this cake in front of you? Have you know that how you to make cake, how to bake cake? Have you noticed whenever you go to your bakery shop to buy your birthday cake for your friend, your mother, for father or yours only? Have you visited to any bakery shop? And if not, so if your mother is preparing for your birthday, so have you noticed what she is doing to preparing the cake or baking the cake? Yes, she is using some flour, right? So before she using a flour and some sweets to making sweeteries, right? And some other parts, some cream, right? So students, if I talk about flour students, so before mixing a flour with the cream or other sweetness particles, is your mother do something else? Yes. So see, I have an activity for you. So if we take a little amount of flour and put it in a sieve, now shake it, and what do you observe? So see students, I have something for you. I have taken some sieve, a larger sieve, and flour, some amount of flour. Okay, now I'm going to shake it. So look it carefully. I'm going to shake it. Do you see some fine particles are coming out from this sieve? Yes, on this plate, right? So what is happening? What we call these type of process, whenever we shake the flour on the larger sieve which we have. So I have another sieve. This is a tea leaves. You can use it to shake it, right? So students, why we are doing this process? Why? What kind of separation we are doing it? Yes, so basically students, we are talking about a process whose name is sieving. Okay, because you know that this is we call sieve. Also this larger one is also called as a sieve. Okay, so mainly they have other purpose, as basically this mainly used for the flour, right, to taking out the fine particles. So whenever I'm shaking up students, so you can see the fine particles are there on the plate, it coming out, right? And the bigger particles is remain at the sieve only, right? So let's see what is sieving. So sieving, sieving is a process by which the fine particles are separated from the bigger by using a sieve. So you can use sieve to separating the fine particles from the bigger particles. So that way we use the sieving process. Okay. Now students, for example, it is used in flour mill or construction site also. So you have seen that the person are taking out the fine particles in the construction site for making the walls properly and fine, right? So that way we can also use a sieve. Okay, so if we talk about flour mill students, so we can see here, this is one of the example. The sieve is there and the flour is being separated, the fine particle being collected in this bowl. So the impurities like husk or stones are being removed from the wheat, right? In the flour mill, if you visited to the factories, the pebbles and the stones are removed from the sand by sieving also. So this is also processed not only for the flour purpose, we use other purpose for also for the sieve. Okay, so this is stones and pebbles also removed by from the sand by sieving. So that is other way of using the sieve. Okay, now students, look at it, this image, and observe it, what is happening in it. So you will notice how many container are there, students? Do we have 2 containers, right? And right, so do you see this? This is an electrical sieve, and you will observe there are 2 kinds of sieve, one at the top and another one is at the bottom. So students, you will come to know that the sieve which is here at the bottom is holes are very small, right? Very small. That means only the fine particles will move to this, collected to this bottom part, right? And for the top part we can see that the holes are more larger, so that's why the other particles are being reflected on this plate. Okay students, so this is an electrical sieve where we have an advantage of 2 kinds of sieves. First is for the bigger, and for the second we have for the smaller. Okay, so that way we can use the different types of sieve in our surroundings to helping out the different sieves at a one time. So these kinds of electrical machines which is in our present, we can able to use it for different purposes in our surrounding, so that way it is going to help us a lot. Okay, so students, there is one question for you. Tick on the beaker whose substances can be separated by sieving, and also tell the reason. So students, there is 2 beakers in front of your screen. So what do you think, which beaker substances is being separated by the sieve? Is it sugar plus salt, or maize plus wheat flour? So which is substance is going to be separated from each other? Yes, so you will give the answer. Yes students, very good for this, because you know that for the sugar we have big one, so we can use this sieve also to separating the wheat flour from the wheat flour, right? But if we talk about another container which is contain maize, wheat, and because this maize, wheat and wheat flour are basically they have same size particles, so same size, so you're not able to separate it, so that why the sugar plus wheat flour that easily separated from each other with using the sieving. Okay, so now students, you have to state true or false. Sieving is helpful in separation of different size particles from each other. Is it a true statement or a false statement? Read it carefully and then tell me the answer. Yes students, very good. So sieving is helpful in separation of different size of particles from each other. That is a true statement, because we know that we can separate any size of particle with the help of sieve. So that will help us to separation of different size of particles. Now students, let me tell you one story to you. Students, what happened? One day my mother is washing some vegetables in a sink. Okay. So suddenly after some time, by mistakenly, her ring is being synced in the with the water. Okay. Now later on, so students, what do you think? Where is the ring? Is it gone with the flow of water, or it being stuck at some place, or at least at some point? Yes, yes, it can be that it can be stuck at a one point, or it can be flow through water. So let's see what is the other situation do we have. So in the second part, the ring was found in the pipe attached with the sink. So students, the ring doesn't go with the flow of water, but the ring was found at the pipe which is attached with the sink. Students, what do you think? So this is, you can see this is a pipe. So it is ring is being founded in here. So what do you think, students? What is the reason for it to find it out the ring here? Why the water has not flowed out? Yes, very good. Because we can see where we have one kind of sieve, right? So because of sieve, ring size is very big, so that's why the any other particle is not coming out from there. So that's why the ring is not coming out from that sieve. Okay, very good. So let's see, we have an activity for you. So you have to take two beakers. You don't have beakers, you take two glass. Okay, and first you have to dissolve water and sand. So suppose, students, I have a beaker. Okay, in there I have a water, and I'm going to add sand, right? So I've added. Next verse, see, now you have to take the second beaker. Okay, you have to take second beaker which is freshly prepared with tea. So we have here tea. Now students, now wait a minute and to separate the different substances. Now you can pour it. Now wait for a few minutes. Let's see how you will separate it. So students, I think you have done this activity at your many times, because we know that if we left any sand in bottom, the sand is being settled down at the bottom, right? So that way it goes to work it, right? So let's see what kind of process is used to separate these substances from one each other. Okay, so we have some processes like sedimentation, decantation and filtration. So let's talk one by one. Okay, so first we have sedimentation. So students, in sedimentation, it is a process in which heavier particles settle at the bottom of the container. So you can see for the sand. For the sand, we use here the process of sedimentation. Okay, because for the sand is being settled down, so that way you can separate easily. And for the decantation is the process of pouring the upper layer of clear liquid without disturbing the second particle which is being settled down. Okay, so these are the two different processes. First, the heavier particle being settled down at the bottom, and the second, the decantation without disturbing the other liquid you goes to separate into other beaker. So we can say we have a decantation as well as sedimentation together. So if you firstly we have a sedimentation process, then we have a decantation process. Okay, now students, What do you mean by filtration? Have you ever seen the filtration process? So filtration is a technique used for separating the liquid from the solid by means of filter. So students, this is a technique, okay, you will do at your home by filtering the tea leaves from the tea. So you separate the tea from the tea leaves. So by the filter you use this. So see, we have few examples, like you can use the paneer separation from that liquid that is there, and the tea leaves separation you can go with the filtration process also. So students, that way you can also do it for these filtration process. So please make sure what is sedimentation, decantation, filtration. These are the other methods of separating the things from each other. Okay. Now students, you have to list some daily life activities in which you see filtration process at your home. Have you ever seen the filtration process done by your mother? Yes. Your mother is being separating the rice, boiled rice from that water, right? So your mother is using that filtration process. Boiled rice is being separated. Or we can use the other process like paneer separations. Like, okay, lemon juice separation, where you can filter out the all the lemon seeds and other particles which is present in the lemon, so that more filtered you will drink the lemon juice. So that way you can separate the items from one each other. So these are the many more examples in our surrounding. You will able to enlist all those. So you will firstly understand what is the filtration process, then you will say, okay, so that way you will work upon it. So students, filling the blanks is in front of you. So read the statement firstly, then go with the answer, okay. The pulses are soaked in the water, and after some time the water is separated by tilting the beaker. The process used in this example are. So which processes is used in this example? Let me tell you and please verify. So see, whenever we place pulses in a water of a beaker, right, and you can see the pulses being settled down, and now you can able to tilt this beaker to transfer the water into the other beaker, okay. So firstly what happened, this is a sedimentation process happen, and second we have a decantation process, okay. So these are the processes we have done it, that is first is sedimentation and second is decantation, okay. Now students, it's your task to do identify the name of this image. So I think you can see the small children's as like you, right? So we have studied filtration also. Yes students, tell me. So this is basically a chemistry laboratory, right? So have you visited at your school? Yes, there we do some reactions, right? We perform experiments, activities related to our topic, right? So you can see we have some teachers also with you, right, and lot many students which is working for the experiment or an activity, okay. So see students, we have an activity where we can see some materials are there, So what do you know about these materials? Do you know the names of these materials? And what is about this last image which I have shown you? Yes. Do you see beaker? Right? A funnel, a filter paper, right? A glass rod. So basically students, this is a glass rod. Okay. So first we have a glass rod. So this is a students a tripod stand. Okay. And these are the circular one. These are the filter paper. And the last one, which is a beaker. Okay. So in the process, you can see on the right hand side, we have a filtration process. See how carefully it is being transporting from a mixture of substances to another mixture, to using a filter paper, and you can perform this activity, right? So this is about the filtration process in laboratory. How the filtration process occur in laboratory place. So student, let's see, at laboratory we use tripod stand, funnel, filter paper and beaker. So these are the materials to be used for this. Okay. Tripod stand, it is used to stand the funnel over beaker. So see, this is our tripod stand. So this is a tripod stand. Okay. Now let me take other color. And filtrate paper, it is containing small pores which helps to separating. So this is a filter paper, it is being used here. Okay. Then we have a filtrate. Filtrate is a part which you obtained in the beaker. So where is the filtrate? So at the bottom part you can see this is a filtrate, right? At the last we have a residue. Residue is one which is left at the filter paper. So residue is being added. So this is a process of filtration occurred at the laboratory. So these are the important points to be noted down. Okay. So students, now you have to tell me list some objects of your daily life which you use instead of funnel. Instead of funnel, what kind of material you used? Because we know that funnel is only in the laboratory. Yes, this kind of shape. Yes, you can use with the plastic bottle, right? You will cut it the bottom part, you will get this type of plastic bottle for transporting the petrol and diesel in your vehicle. So that way it's going to be help a lot, right? Many more examples are there where it helping these types of funnel instruments which is in laboratory, but we use in our day-to-day life to transferring from one part to another part. Now students, read this and match the column. Okay, so do it, take time and then tell me your answer and write it down your answer in the comment box. So let's take it's a 1 2 3 and this is A, B and C. If you get the answer, so you will write it down 1 B, okay, 2 C, 3 A. So that way you can write it down your answer if you know the answer in the comment box. Okay students, let's discuss what's your answer. I think you do your task. So filtrate is, yes, it is a solution in a beaker, right? What is residue? residue is that which is left on the filter paper, and the filter paper is used to separate the particles. So that way we get the answer. Okay students, so let's recap what we have discussed. We have discussed about today sieving, sedimentation process, decantation process, and filtration process. Okay, so these are the few images you can see where we have filtration process occur, as well as we use sieving. So you have to tell me the correct answer. Okay, the tea leaves are separated from the leaves by the process of which? You have some options A, B, C, D. Which process you will use for separating the tea leaves from the tea? Yes, very good students. We use, yes, what we use? We use filtration process, right? So C is the correct answer. Okay, now students, you have to tell me, when milk cooled after boiling, it is poured into pieces of cloth. That cream is there, malai, it is left on it. So the process of separating cream from milk, what is called? Yes, it is also called filtration. Right? So students, these are the two homework questions. Explain the sieving process that used in construction site, and how do you obtain the clear water from the muddy water. Okay, and the last we have an activity. You have to take a beaker and fill 1/4 of the beaker with water, another with the oil. Okay, and shake it with the help of glass rod or spoon. Then let the liquid settle down and use the decantation process to separate the liquid, and share your observations and do it carefully for the decantation process. It is useful for us there or not. Okay, so that way you will tell me in the next class. Okay students, so thank you. We will meet on the next video.